Good morning. Defiant optimism. As a Bangladeshi woman, I led a lifetime defining those words and epitomized them. The reason why? Well, I am creating the world's first social stock exchange called Impact Investment Exchange. And this will revolutionize the way we look at development in Asia and hopefully the rest of the world. Now, what makes me the torchbearer of defiant optimism? Well, I have to tell you a little story. I'm the fourth daughter of a traditional Bangladeshi family. For those of you who are familiar with our part of the world, being a daughter is really not that great, and being the fourth one, you can imagine. So my birth was really not that celebrated, well, and it was not really hidden from me very well. Thus comes the defiant child. Well, my parents were actually great parents, and they gave me a great education, and with that, my optimism grew. I became self-sufficient, and I ended up being one of the first Bangladeshi women in Wall Street, going on from Wall Street to the dirt parts of Grameen Bank, and thus creating a career in public service. What I did was very interesting. Back in 1999, after I spent my time in Grameen, I found the fact that there was a group of people out there who didn't have access to capital, access to market to produce their goods. So I created what was, at that point, I guess, a social enterprise which has never been done before, called One Nest, which linked the artisans with the market. This was actually something what in today's world, I guess we will call social enterprise, and I was a social entrepreneur without even knowing it. But the One Nest story, interestingly, is not the only one that's around. There are thousands of social enterprises now who are doing incredible work around Asia and around the globe. But there is one issue, which is the access to capital. Most of these enterprises are at the tipping point of systemic impact, and they can't get to that point because of lack of capital. So we have enterprises around Asia who are dealing with myriad of problems in social, economic, environmental issues, be it microfinance, be it clean energy, be it sanitation, but again, the access to capital is the issue. There's also, interestingly, in the last few years, a new group of investors that have emerged. Now, these investors were not there when I was doing One Nest, but now they're here, who are called impact investors. These are investors who are interested in double or triple bottom line. They're interested in economic, social, and financial return. But remember the order. It is economic, social, and financial order. So the triple bottom line investors are there. We have the social enterprises. And interestingly, if you look at the number of what the money is out there, according to Monitor Institute, it's about $500 billion. However, the barrier is there. They cannot access the market. What is the solution? Now, if you look back in history, when was the first stock market created? In the 1300s. Now, after almost 800 years later, we have stock markets around the world which are worth over $55 trillion. Not a single cent is going towards development from the market. That's astounding. Well, I'm changing that. I'm creating a stock exchange which is bringing social enterprises and impact investor together and creating impact investment exchange. Yes, it is something new. Yes, there are risks involved. But guess what? It is happening. With the help of Rockefeller Foundation, various national governments, the entity is now being created and will be launched in January. Listen, we have myriad of things we need to work through: regulations, the social enterprise readiness, the impact investor adaptation, but we're doing it one step at a time and very effectively. Now, what will this exchange do? It will issue shares, just like any other exchange does, for for-profit social enterprises, and it will issue bonds for for-profit and for not-for-profit enterprises. So it'll work like any other exchange, but the difference is you will get a social return, you'll get an environmental return, and also you'll get a financial return. And the defiant optimism, well, this all pulls it together. The defiant child, which is making the impact investment exchange, is now looking at development in a different way, rewriting development, and giving each one of you in this audience an opportunity to be an investor in this incredible social stock exchange. Thank you very much.